Hello and welcome to European SharePoint Training Week, a week of live webinars, ebooks and blogs from the top SharePoint experts in the industry. Today I'm delighted to be joined by David Martos, who will be talking to you about Introduction to the SharePoint 2013 Social Capabilities. Remember to join in the conversation about today's webinar on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is @EuropeanSP and our hashtag is ESPC14. David is one of an impressive list of speakers for the European SharePoint Conference, which will take place in Barcelona, May 5 to 8, 2014. Go to www.sharepointeurope.com for more information on the 100 plus sessions that will take place. All of the speakers from European SharePoint Training Week will be there, along with the likes of Dan Holm, Jeremy Tague, Christian Buckley and Rafał Lubowickia. After the webinar we will have questions. Type any questions you have for David in the question pane in the control panel. Some questions will be selected and answered at the end of the presentation. This webinar is being recorded and you will be notified by email when it is available. And now I'm going to pass over to our webinar presenter for today, David Martos. Hello David.
Hi Declan, and thank you for the introductions. And thank you for everyone for attending this webinar where I'm going to be talking about SharePoint 2013 social capabilities. First, let me introduce myself. My name is David Martos. I am CTO at Busy. This is a company building social software on top of SharePoint 2010 and 2013. I am also SharePoint Server MVP since 2010. And here you have my Twitter login name and my blog URL. Just in case you want to follow me or send me questions through Twitter, I will be pleased to help you if possible. Okay, before starting, 3 disclaimers. First, I have some language-related knockbacks. My preferred language is not English, so it can be possible that I try to explain something and you don't understand. This will be totally my fault, and please apologize for that.
Here.
Also, this is an introductory level session, so what we call level 100, and you shouldn't expect something really technically deep on this session. And another disclaimer, I am a developer with all the consequences of that, so if we mix this problem of being a developer and language-related knockbacks, it can be weird if I talk from a technical perspective. Again, apologize for this. Okay, let's begin with the content of the session, and I will start with some history about social computing because it's important to understand why we are here and what has been the road. First, when all this began, like 30 or 20 years ago, social computing was something for a pair of geeks connected to systems to upload and download files. It was like a silo. Of course, it was working perfectly for this purpose. And by that time, SharePoint was something like this. So it was also a system for uploading and downloading files. It was good for this purpose, and of course, it didn't have the social capabilities that we can see today. Okay, after some years, let's say from 2004 to 2007, the consumer social revolution came, and we started seeing a lot of, let's say, portals or systems for consumers that, like Facebook or Twitter, that were really successful. A lot of people was joining these portals to communicate with others, to share experiences and so. And also we get some professional services like Ching or LinkedIn. It was like something new that had a very rapid growth. By that time, Microsoft released SharePoint 27. It was the first SharePoint release with social. Let's put social under quotes, because we had this regarding social. We had a colleague tracker. We were able to see things in common between you and your colleagues. That was great. You were able to search on your intranet for colleagues or for people having some skills or talking about anything. That was interesting. Of course, social consumer social software was growing too fast. And at some point, between 2007 and 2010, social was everywhere. So big companies were investing a lot of money in social consumer software. Social was not something for geeks, it was something for everyone. Television was always connecting to social things, social media. Sport was also in social, and basically everything was in Twitter, Facebook, whatever. And of course, big companies were aware of that and knew that they need to invest money on putting that into the enterprise area. And then by that time, SharePoint 2010 arrived to the market, but it was a really slow transition because if you take into consideration that Microsoft has a 3 years development life cycle, when SharePoint 2010 came to the market, let's say something between 2009 and 2010, the product was closed in a feature perspective, we would say in 2008. So in 2008, Facebook and Twitter were not systems that are today. And Microsoft released SharePoint with this kind of social features. We had a profile page, we have a microblog area. Of course, it was really simple compared to what we had by that time on Facebook and Twitter. But of course, they can release a new feature every week or every month, and Microsoft needs 3 years to release new features. So it was kind of difficult for Microsoft to win this race. After that, between 2010 and 2013, we can say that the corporate social revolution arrived, and a lot of companies invested money in putting Facebook or Twitter or these kind of things, or Instagram or whatever, into the big enterprise. Okay, you have here some examples, but there are plenty of companies investing money on this area. And then what was Microsoft's response? Well, they bought Yammer. It was one of their competitors, a different technology, a different way of working, a different development life cycle, but a very nice product, so they bought it. But not only this, but they invested some money on SharePoint 2013 social capabilities. And this is what I'm going to show you right now. Let's do a feature walkthrough so you see all new improvements on this release of SharePoint. First thing to mention, the community side. When you talk about social, one of the words that comes to your mind is community or network or group, whatever. One of the new site templates coming with SharePoint 2013 is called community site. So you can think that this is the entry point for social. Actually, what you have with a community site is a refurbished discussion list template. Finally, so this is something that SharePoint users were expecting for a long time. Discussion lists were the same feature since the very beginning of the SharePoint history, and we have now a experience similar to what we have in a internet forum. So this is nice. We have simple filters like recent activities or recent questions, what's hot, what has more answers, what are my discussions, etc. We have simple statistics, so we know how many members or how many discussions we have on this community, which is also fine. And we have simple reputation settings. So when people start making questions and answering questions, they get points, and you can customize some way the way people get points, and you will have finally a list of top contributors in this community. So these are simple reputation elements. However, it has some, let's say, limitations or opportunities. I would like to say opportunities. This is first, when you work with communities, you you think you are working with lists, so you click on a button for new discussion, then you get a form, you fill the title, the description, wherever you click a button to save the element. This is not what people is expecting on a social system, because they are used to Facebook or Twitter. Another problem is that you don't have an aggregated view. So as you can see in the screenshot, you have a list of questions, and every question has a number of replies. But you don't see the replies in the same screen, so you need to enter into the question to see the answers to the question. Normally, this is something you would like to see. At least the best answer should appear here. And maybe the biggest issue is that the gamification features are poor. So you have badges to assign people like best answer in the system or most active player or whatever. But first, these badges are individual to every community. So if you want to have the top contributor badge, you will need to add this badge to every single community in the system. Also, you cannot have like the employee of the month that it's covering answers from every community in the site. This is something that people is also expecting, but at least you have something that it's new. Then connected to the community site, you have a new template also that it's called the community portal. And the community portal is an aggregated view of communities in the system. It leverages the search service, so it's basically using search to crawl all the system and throw the information regarding communities contained in the system. That is fantastic, but it has again a problem of aggregation. So you see the list of communities and the number of discussions of every community, but if you want to see anything here, you need to enter into the community. Okay, and I would like to have a view of latest questions all over the systems, for example. But again, this is something that works, and it's a new feature that it's interesting. Then on the other side, we have seen changes on the team side basic template, and this is one example. And as you can see, we have the expected wall-like feed. This is more similar to Facebook. So I am in a site or in a community, in a network, whatever. I start typing a conversation directly into the page, so simple data input, and then the activity is created into the wall. And then I can like and I can reply. I see activities with replies in the same view. That it's great. You can also follow conversations, so you will see, you will be notified of changes. This is also great. And this, you have the Office document preview feature, which is awesome. It's maybe a small thing, but it's the one that I personally most like, which is if you see the screenshot, there is a Word document attached to a conversation. You can preview the document into the same wall. You will see that in the demo. However, it has also some opportunities. First, the attaching and embedding sensation is poor. So, for example, if you want to attach a document, you need to upload the document to the document library, then copy the URL, and then paste it into the conversation. This is not really nice. You can attach pictures, but you can attach only one picture in a conversation. This is also too basic. And you cannot drag and drop pictures, which you might think that it's not really important, but if you can drag and drop pictures to a document library, you should be able also to drag and drop pictures to the feed or to the news feed. Also, you can embed elements like YouTube videos. That it's great, but you cannot attach, for example, you cannot embed, for example, videos from Vimeo or from any other video system, which is kind of strange because you can use YouTube and not other systems. Also, there is a lack of event information in the wall. For example, if I upload a document on this community or in this team site, I would like to see a new activity, a new conversation saying, hey, David has attached a new document. So people can comment on the document, can have a conversation around it, and it would be interesting to have. So first question is team sites or community sites? This is an argument we can have. It's personal feeling or personal decision. In my opinion, a community is more similar to what I have with a team site, but then we have the community site template, which is kind of confusing. But of course, it's up to you. You can use community sites, you can use team sites, you can use both at the same time, but then if you use both, I will show you some things that will happen. First, another new improvement on the system is the newsfeed, which is an aggregated view of things that are related to you. This is like something in your personal area. And as you can see, this is an aggregated view of feeds on team sites, on community sites, and followed items events. So if you are following a team site, you will see conversations of this team site. If you are into a community and you ask a question and post a reply, you will see that also in the newsfeed. And if you are following a document and the document changes, you will see the notification that somebody modified the document. That is great. You have simple following statistics, so you know what elements you are following. You see 9 people, 3 documents, 5 sites, and 1 tag. And you have simple filters like what is people you follow saying, what is everyone saying, what conversations contain mentions to you, etc. And you have trending tags like Twitter, so most used tags on this week. This is great. However, if you see, not every item works the same way. For example, there is a conversation in the newsfeed saying that Martos posted on posting site a YouTube video. I can reply and make some other actions. But for example, the next one is David Martos posted administrative time requests in HR. This is something that happened into a community site. I cannot reply here. I cannot like here. I need to go to this community site to work on this. And if I reply on this community site, the reply will be treated as a new notification, not connected to this one. So it's like confusing if you use both things at the same time. Also, you have different behaviors depending on what you follow. So I can follow people, documents, sites, and tags. But if I follow people, I will see conversations of this person and also things that this person does on a community site. If I follow documents, what I will see is notifications of changes on this document. If I follow sites, what I will do is seeing conversations of feeds of this contained on feeds on these sites. So it can be also confusing if you don't understand what happens when you follow something. But follow functionality is great. You have also the About Me area, which is like the personal page. You see information about me, activities created by me. That's great. But you have some data inconsistency. Just for you to see, this screenshot and the previous one were taken at the same time. And you see the latest activity is something regarding administrative time requests. But the previous one have a more recent activity, which is that I modified a document, and it doesn't appear here. So for me, this is like an inconsistency. It's the way that SharePoint works. It's fine, but you will need to be aware of that. You can see also the profile page of a different person, like this way. I see activities created by this person, and I also see in common with you information, like you both follow these people, you both follow these sites, etc. You can, as I said, you can follow four types of things. You can follow people, so you have a page that shows people you follow, people following you. The page suggests people to follow and promotes postings of these people to your newsfeed. So same functionality as on 2010, apparently, but with some nice UX improvements. So it was really an UX nightmare on 2010, and now it seems to be at least better. I don't know if it's perfect, but at least it's better. If you follow documents, you have a page that shows documents you follow, suggests documents to follow as well. It also shows documents shared with you on SkyDrive Pro. SkyDrive Pro is a separated concept. It's like a SkyDrive in the enterprise. And if you are shared some documents, you will see them here in the Share With Me area. And the system promotes changes on these documents to your newsfeed. So you will see when the document is changed, when the document is deleted, etc. It has some UX issues, as you can see, but it's not a big deal. If you follow sites, you will see on this page the sites you follow. It will suggest sites to follow based on some elements like membership and so. The system promotes these sites feeds to your newsfeed, as you have seen before, and allows simple creation of new sites. If you see this new site button next to my picture, it's a very simple way to create a new team site. You just type the title of the site and the site is created. That's great because it's very simple, but it gives me the idea that the best way of working with social is working with team sites and not community sites, because this button is actually creating a team site. However, again, this is personal decision and it's up to you. And finally, you can also follow tags. If you follow tags, you can see the list of tags you are following. The system will promote conversations containing these tags to your newsfeed and allows following tags very simple. So if you click the follow button there in the next to my picture, you will be able to write the tag you want to follow, and from this moment you will be following this tag. And I think I want to highlight as well, related to social, although it's not really social, is search. There are a lot of improvements regarding search in SharePoint 2013, especially because they integrated fast into the system, that it's a great search application. And one of the things that you can see now integrated with search is social conversations. As you can see here, when I type something in a search box, I can see elements that are actually conversations. And if you highlight a conversation, you can see even the replies and the conversation around the topic you are searching in the bubble. So that it's really, really awesome. There are some unexpected results. As you can see here, there is a strange number on the result, which is actually a mention. And there is a result, which is the newsfeed activity in general. These are unexpected results, but of course you can work on this. You can customize search to make it better. It's up to you. At least it works. That is, it's fair enough. I want to talk also about missing features. I have shown the existing features. You have seen that I am really critical with what we have. I have shown the limitations or the opportunities, let's say. There's elements that are completely missing, in my opinion. One of them is socializing SharePoint content. So I would like to have conversations around documents and make comments and likes around a document that somebody posted. It would be maybe so easy as treating announcements on the newsfeed as conversations. So if somebody uploads a document, I can comment and like. It's as easy, as simple as this, but it's missing. And also Yammer. It's very difficult to make a social presentation of SharePoint 2013 and avoid mentioning Yammer. And those who know me, of course, you know what I think about Yammer and the SharePoint story. But in my opinion, this is a SharePoint webinar. Yammer is not yet integrated into SharePoint, and I don't like to put Yammer here. But of course, it will be integrated at some point. It needs to be integrated, at least in the cloud. What I think it's missing is either you integrate Yammer into SharePoint, or you create Yammer-like functionalities on-prem, or Facebook-like functionalities on-prem. Okay. Well, not in this session, but in the session I'm doing for the European SharePoint Conference, I will talk about customizing the social experience, and I will go deeper on this topic. Okay, time for a quick demo. very quick demo because you have already seen almost everything. Well, this is the newsfeed. As you can see, I have somebody replying to conversations into a community, but I cannot do anything here. But I have here some, let's show some conversations here. For example, this is something happened on a posting site, on a team site. I can reply, I can post pictures. Of course, I need to choose something from here. I cannot drag and drop. If we go to first to the community, this is the way the community works. You see, I create a new discussion, and this is like creating a new item on a list. This is not what you normally expect, but it works. I can say this is a question. I can put this question in a category. It's like a list item. There, I can enter here. I can reply. I have the reply here. Of course, I don't have this reply here, but I know I have one reply, which is at least something. And if I want, for example, to go to the team site, I can do the same thing. I can reply here. I see questions and comments in the same view, which is great. It's up to you to decide what kind of working do you prefer. If we go to the newsfeed, we will see both elements appearing here. So if I use team site, I will see this user experience. If I use a community conversation, I will see somebody that I posted a question. I replied to this question. This is something that it's, in my opinion, is confusing. And as we are running out of time, let's go to the conclusions. My conclusions, or my opinion, is that social capabilities in SharePoint have been improved from the previous release, which is great. But consumer world social capabilities have improved faster. Of course, they can do things Microsoft can do in a on-prem solution. Microsoft needs to improve its release cycle. This is maybe why they are moving to the cloud with so interest, because they will be able to do that on the cloud faster than on-prem. But this is where partners have an opportunity to fill the gap. So while Microsoft has a 3 years development cycle, we can be building solutions for customers during these 3 years to make SharePoint better from a social perspective. And this is time for Q&A.
Thank you, David, for a great presentation. And now we'll deal with some questions. So to start, do you think Microsoft will ditch SharePoint Social for Yammer?
I'm sorry, can I read the questions, or?
I'll just repeat it there. Do you think Microsoft will ditch SharePoint Social for Yammer?
Will ditch?
Yeah, get rid of.
Okay. Well, the Yammer history is really strange, and it's really the product team is really opaque about this. But they are two very different technologies to integrate. In my opinion, when we talk about cloud, at some point we will have an integrated view of SharePoint and Yammer, for sure. In the on-prem world, it's difficult that this happen. I don't think Yammer will never go to the on-prem in a company, but I think that at some point Microsoft will build functionalities like Yammer into the on-prem product because they need big companies to be using SharePoint with the same functionalities that they use on the cloud. I don't know if this answers the question.
Okay. I just have another question here, David. Is the community point system related to Yammer in any way, or a separate entity in SharePoint 2013?
The community side?
Community point system.
No, it's not connected to Yammer in any way. Well, actually, nothing in SharePoint is connected to Yammer. Basically, the only thing that they are doing is creating a network in Yammer and then using the app for SharePoint to put a frame of Yammer into SharePoint. Of course, you can, with custom code, you can send information from SharePoint to Yammer, and of course from Yammer to SharePoint. But this is really hard to do, especially from Yammer to SharePoint. Out of the box, nothing in SharePoint is connected to Yammer.
Okay. Just one more question now, David. Is the newsfeed dependent on search index or crawler?
Yes. So everything you have seen on the personal area, newsfeed, about me, and all this, it's dependent on the search engine. So you will see that you post something and it takes some time to appear on the newsfeed. Good news is that fast works really well, and you have changes on the search engine that allows continuous crawling, so you don't need to wait 5 minutes to the next scroll to happen. It seems to be real time, but everything works with the search. Even the communities portal you have seen rely on search.
Perfect, David. Thank you very much. So that's all the time we have for our questions today. Before we go though, I have one question for you all. Are you coming to Barcelona? For those of you that don't know, the European SharePoint Conference will take place from the 5th to 8th of May 2014 in beautiful Barcelona. For more information about what you can expect at Europe's largest SharePoint conference, check out our website www.sharepointeurope.com. Currently, we have a range of competitive pricing options with a great early booking offer. Get a 3-day delegate pass for only $9.95. We also have some fantastic group booking offers available. The bigger your group, the bigger the discount. Check out our pricing page for more information. That's all for today's webinar, and hopefully you can join us for more great webinars this week. Thank you. Bye.